Now we come to the last steps. You admit what isn't working. And so I admitted to myself that what I was doing was not getting me where I wanted to be, was not bringing me peace, was not bringing me hope. So you admit what isn't working, and then you ask for help. I don't even know how to say how hard number 7 is for me. I have no idea how to say how hard number 7 is for me, because when my heart is not broken, my life feels way normal, or it feels like I should at least think that it's way normal. And so I don't want to impose upon anyone else. I don't want to make life harder for anyone else. And so I just bury it. And so many times, I can't not count the amount of times that I have written a text, reaching out for help, trying to share what's going on, and then I hide it again. And I erase the text and I keep moving on with my life, thinking that I just am not being brave enough, that I'm not being strong enough, that I'm not being stick-to-itiveness enough. And so my plea to those who are outside of this, please ask how your loved ones are doing. Because it's amazing how much easier it is for me to be forthright and open and honest with people if they ask, and how much harder it is for me to make that reach if I feel like I'm reaching towards a wall, if I feel like I'm reaching towards a closed door. So for those on the outside, please ask, please check in. I am so grateful for the people who do, and who allow me to be completely open and honest, and who go, wow, that's rough. What do you want to do about it? And they give me a choice. So ask them how they're doing, and then give them a choice and say, is this a song day? My friend does this for me, and I'm so grateful. When I'm having a hard time, she says, is this a song day? Is this a process day? Is this a hug day? And sometimes it's all three. Sometimes I'm still trying to figure out what in the world just happened. And so it's a song day and I just need to process. But come up with those things that the people in your life need, and ask, and then actually give them what they ask for, so that they establish trust, asking for help. And if you're on the inside of it, take the leap and start a conversation. Take the leap and reach out for someone and improve and do better. We're on the home stretch now. So the last 3 are ones that may seem a little, well, just this next one might seem weird. And number 8 is make it right. I can spell. I probably wrote that really small too. But anyway, so when we make it right, this step for me happened, I think, about 18 months ago with my mom. Depression and anxiety is incredibly isolating for those who are facing it and for those supporting them. Because you stop going to family gatherings, you stop going to church, you start feeling really awkward about inviting people into your life because you feel like they're going to want to come right over, and that's not going to happen. And so you slowly build this wall, trying to protect yourself. And I'm actually going to be very open. Sister, I think it's Alberto's talk from Saturday night, actually was really hard for me, the Saturday night conference, because I had reached out and I had tried, I thought that I was being really open about it or really clear about it, and things did not go the way that I had hoped that they would go. And so I closed off again, and I put on my walls again, and I hid again. Not that this feels very hidden, because I'm doing the Facebook Live, but I've moved on. I'm moving forward. And so that goes where the acceptance comes from. If you're asking for help, you can't always guarantee how they're going to respond. When you reach out, they might not be able to do exactly what you need because you don't even know how to communicate what you need. And so there is power in reaching out, even if you don't always get the response that you need. And for me, I forgot that. I didn't realize that. And so I got a little angry and I got a little bitter and I hid. People asked how I was. I said, fine. And I would pretty much emotionally distance myself. And there came a point where I realized I couldn't do that anymore. And so I was carrying around so much anger from relationships that had not gone the way that I'd hoped or the way that I wanted. So one morning, I was alone in my part of the house. And so I invited one of these people that I'd been having a really hard time with. And I closed my eyes and I just envisioned them and I said, hey, can we talk? I didn't call them, I didn't email them, I didn't reach out. I just closed my eyes and I thought of them and I said, hey, could we talk? And they said, and they nodded their heads. So I was like, okay, here goes. And I laid it out. I laid out the frustration, the anger, the sadness, the disappointment, all the things. And I went on probably for a solid 7 minutes of just letting it all go because I'd held that in for so long. And I finally let it go. And I laid it out on the table in front of me. And in front of us, because there they were in my mind's eye still. And at the end of all of it, I said, I am so sorry for pointing all of this at you. I am so sorry for being angry. I am so sorry for being bitter and frustrated. And will you forgive me for not having the guts to tell you that I was having a hard time? Will you forgive me for holding on to that for so long? I asked Heavenly Father to forgive me for pointing that at his child and for holding that over my own head. And at the end of that conversation, that was out loud but in my head, I was able to call that person up for real and apologize to them in person. There came a point when I had to realize that I was part of what was going on. I couldn't blame other people. I couldn't say that it was everyone else's fault. I had to realize that I was immature, that I was not ready for change, that I was angry, and I was using that like a weapon. And once I realized that I was part of it and I wasn't blaming anymore, but I was holding on to what was me and that I wanted to let that go, things started getting better. And so I chose to make it right. The next step, after you choose, and making it right may look a lot of different ways, but I would invite you to sit and ponder and think about how it is that you want to make it right, and ponder about what you want to do to start letting go of the anger and to start embracing that with a team, life is better. Okay, number 9. Keep taking inventory. As I feel like I've mentioned a lot, this process is not one that you do once and then it magically goes away. And this process is for every relationship, for pretty much every situation, of just keep taking inventory, keep processing, keep working through, because as you do that, that's how you find peace. That's how you let it go, because emotions build up. Like I last year, when I drew that circle on the ground and I let it all go and I burned it up, that was the first step. That was the first thing that I did to truly find peace again. But then something else would happen and I'd get frustrated about something else, and then it would build again. And so as you keep taking inventory and you keep doing the loop of realizing what's there, realizing why it's there, and letting it go, then you keep healing. And then when new stuff comes up, it doesn't stick because you've smoothed off all the edges of where it used to stick. And it's sometimes I feel like negative emotions are like Velcro, and they stick to us. And so the more you have, the more they stick, and it just builds up all of these layers. And so as you do this process of take inventory, prepare to let go, admit what isn't working and let go again, you start peeling off the layers of Velcro so that there's less for the emotions to stick through. Yeah, it might still sting a little bit, but you've let go of a whole lot of what's there. And so just think of this as the Velcro step. And then the final step is to find a purpose and to find a direction. I better find or direction. I'm getting better at writing weird, like not like I normally would, in case you're all wondering. So find purpose and direction of where you're going. That circle of leaving everything in that circle was the first step. I had to let go. I had to start embracing that life could be better, and that was a necessary first step. But my real healing came when I realized that I wanted to help other people. That I finally had tools that I could reach out and relieve another's burden. Because I had lived in a place where it wasn't anyone's fault, but I never felt like I was met where I needed to be met because no one else knew what was going on. Partly because I hadn't told them, so that's on me. But I realized up close and personally how hard it was to let people in who didn't understand. And so when I realized that I wanted to become a person that could reach out because I understood, then the anger episodes and the frustrating episodes happen less. Because I feel like I have direction, because I feel like I have purpose, and I feel like I have hope. In the Primordial Dwarfism documentary that I was watching, one of the parents were raising money to host the first ever conference for MOPD2. Because they wanted to get the families together because they knew that strength came in coming together, and strength for them and strength for their kids so that their kids can learn that they weren't alone in the world. Oh, how powerful that is to know you are not alone in the world. And so I hope that you guys will take time to find that purpose, to realize that even if your expectations have missed you, you no longer have that loved one that meant so much to you, or a diagnosis came into your life that you weren't expecting. Whatever it is, I hope you will work the process to peel off the Velcro, to let go of what's going on so that you can find peace, so that you will ask for help, so that you will realize that there is purpose. Remember the third one is choose to trust, and how many different ways that applies. Choose to trust that your life does have meaning and purpose, and that it doesn't always have to be dark or alone. Accept that you don't have control. The other thing that I realized is accepting you don't have control is what brings balance. Because when you're fighting for that control, when you're fighting for that purpose, when you're fighting for that, I just have to make things be okay. Guess what, guys? Control is an illusion. You don't have control. But once you accept you don't have control, then you learn what things are in your control. It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? But it's so true. Because once I realized that I could not control every facet of my life, there we go. I'm not a water spout. Once I realized that I couldn't control everything in my life, I realized that I could at least work the process. I could accept that there was still hope in the world. I could accept that emotions were going to come up. And I could accept myself. My control was accepting that whatever I felt was okay. That I could exercise self-compassion. That was what I was afraid of. Growing up my whole life, there was a certain way you were meant to do things. There was a certain way that you needed to feel and a certain way you needed to act. And so when I was in the midst of this pain and this frustration, I was bullying myself a lot, thinking that how awful I was, that I couldn't just love my spouse more, how awful I was, that I was struggling with my faith. I was frustrated that I was not as good as I thought that I should be. But my real control came when I simply loved myself for where I was. And that I exercised this compassion, because change doesn't happen when you beat yourself up. Change happens when you love yourself for what happened. Because when you feel loved, you have a much greater desire to do things differently. And so I think that's why Satan was in the mix of my life, trying to make me feel the anger, trying to get me ticked off and frustrated, because he wanted me to be angry and to feel alone. But when I stepped back and I let go, then I was able to embrace light, and then I was able to embrace hope and love. And then I was able to change, because the ultimate midpoint ending of this story, I know I'm not the end, I have an eternity still to go, but once I learned to love myself, once I learned to let go of that anger, then that cycle didn't scare me so much. Because even when he was having a hard time, I knew I didn't have to go to that place with him. I could be okay. And then on the good times, I could enjoy the good times. The biggest thing of the last year is I learned to laugh again, guys. That's the thing that made me the happiest. I can laugh at a joke. I tell lots of jokes. I'm zany and I'm weird. And I learned that because I did the steps of this process. Because I processed my grief, and I moved out of denial, and I moved out of anger, and I moved to acceptance. And I wasn't bargaining with God anymore. Once I did all of those things, then I could be okay with me. Does that mean I don't still have a hard time? 3 weeks ago shows I do still have a hard time. But I'm able to process through it quicker. I'm able to work the steps faster so I don't feel trapped. And that is so important. And it leaves me with purpose. Now when he's having a hard time, no longer am I cowering in the other room just going, what's going to happen, what's going to happen, what's going to happen? Or how can I help, how can I help, how can I help? There's no way for me to help. Now I check in. I say, is there anything I can do for you? If the answer is yes, then I am going to do it. And if the answer is no, then I say, just know I'm here for you. Let me know what you need and when. And so now I have a direction, I have things to work on, and I have a direction to go, so I don't feel so helpless. So I hope that this proves helpful for you. And if you have questions, please reach out. This is the direction that I want to go. This is the people that I want to help. And so there's some opportunities that I can offer all of you. If you want to start making these changes in your life, I hope you'll reach out. The first way to reach out, we need to flip this again. And move this again. So there's some ways for you guys to reach out. The very first step is, where's my base? There's my base. Just message me. Message me personally, message me on Empowering Lower Lights, and just say, could you teach me the circle thing again? Or could you teach me the letting go and forgiving so that you can repair relationships? Reach out. I would love to teach you. I would love to work with you. Go to my website, empoweringlowerlights.com, and check it out. Watch the video that's there. Check out my blog. Wow, my blog. I say that because I've gotten very real there. And I've said things that I wish that I could have heard when I was in that dark place. So if you're not ready for human contact, I hope you'll go to empoweringlowerlights.com, go to my blog, click on my blog, check that out. And at the very bottom of every page is 4 tips to start healing yourself. And so I hope that you'll put in your name and you'll put in your email address so that you can get those emails. It's 4 days of emails that just teach tips of things that I use to change, to help me heal. Because this is just a very brief, I know I've been talking for 1 hour and 10 minutes, but this is still just very brief to describe 4 years of life and change. And so I hope that you will reach out and sign up for that email, get that email so that you can start, you can have those tips in your inbox to review and review as needed. check out my YouTube channel. I've been doing videos about how I healed, and the things and techniques that I used to get there. So check out my YouTube channel. And the last two that I'm so excited about. On my website, you can sign up for a free call with me, because I really want to meet people where they are in their journey of healing. Maybe they haven't even started it. Maybe you're still at rock bottom. Please reach out. There is something so powerful talking to someone who gives you the space to share whatever you need to share, and I would absolutely love being that person for you. So go to my website, go to the schedule page. You'll find it on the top bar, or there's you won't find it on the top bar, sorry. There's buttons everywhere that says get started. So click on that button and schedule a call with me. I would absolutely love to talk to you. And the last one, maybe you are past being met where you are. Maybe you now want to start healing and start moving forward. I host a support group call twice a month. It's one Tuesday a month and one Saturday a month. Our next call is next Saturday at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. So I hope that you will reach out, message me right here on this page, message me, and so that I can give you the information for that call. This call is a place for us to share what's going on. Sometimes when mental illness is in the mix, when grief is in the mix, it's really hard to talk to people who have not been in that place. But we as a group of ladies have found that we get it. And so I hope that you will reach out so that you can join that support group call. It's a 45-minute to an hour call, and you legitimately I give you a number, you dial in, and we talk. You don't have to see other people's faces. You don't have to travel anywhere. You just get to learn from each other. And I learn things when we talk and when we share. So I hope you'll join us there. So those are my invitations for you. Go to the website, read the blog, sign up for the 4 email tips, contact me to join the support group. I would love to have you there. And the last thought that I would like to share with you all, and the thing that has helped me the most, is that there is purpose and reason for my life right where I am. And I hope that you guys will take heart in that I'm not saying that it's going to be great. I'm not saying you have to choose to be happy or to count your blessings or anything else. But hold on to the idea that there really is purpose in where you're at, and that there is reason for where you are right now, and then reach out to find the hope and healing you need. Thank you for joining me.